Hello there, aspiring tennos. Let's talk Endo today. Probably the most misunderstood resource in this entire game. Now, I want to start on this mission page just because I want to show you these rewards, which is honestly nothing out of the ordinary. So we got our credits and we got our Endo, and also, by the way, this thing didn't work properly. It didn't count the last mission for some reason, but whatever. So we did 3 runs and got relics, we got some prime parts, that's awesome. And then we got a good amount of Endo, we got a lot of like rare mods which can be sold for more Endo, got all of these parts which each can be sold for even more Endo, just a lot of Endo. All of this can be made into Endo, so much Endo. All right, now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and actually take a look at the stats and see what this beast is actually like. Alright, so here we are on the spreadsheet. Let's go ahead and break this down real quick. But before I do that, we need to go back to Warframe so that I can demonstrate to you. I don't have to demonstrate it, but I'm going to explain what the traditional Endo farm is really quick. So what you do is that you run the arena here with a full squad with 1 Nidus and 3 Necros. And Nidus pulls in all of the enemies, and then you kill them, and with the help of Necros, then you're going to get more drops. These enemies very frequently drops 50 and 80 Endo like bundles. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what that's actually like. Good. So maxing a prime mod from 0 to 10 is 40,000 Endo. All right, and it's going to cost you 1.5 million credits. Just keep that in mind. It's not part of this equation, but it's part of common sense in a little bit. So the difference in price is about 150 platinum, depending upon which mod it is and how long it's been since it was vaulted. So 1 Endo in platinum is this tiny number here, and it's just these 2 divided. And this is also these 2 divided, but the other way around. 1 plat to Endo instead. So this will be our baseline for our calculations. Alright, so first let's cover the traditional IR farming, which is not as good as you might think, since a lot of people seem so eager to run it. Anyway, so this is the classic farm. It takes 2 minutes to complete it. That's if you're fast. Not perfect, but fast. And it is considered slow time as well. So I don't care about your like in-game 1.5-minute timers. They don't mean anything to me. And don't look at that. That was just testing. You will get 600 on average, which that's fine. Sometimes I got almost 1,000, and sometimes I got only 300. Sometimes I got really lucky and got 1,100, but that was definitely a one-time occurrence. It was mostly around the like 700-ish Endo per run. Then Endo per hour, obviously very simple calculation. That's what that looks like. And then down here we have the platinum per hour, not particularly great. And also this is probably more like 2.5 minutes, but if you're really good at it, I guess you can't run it in 2 minutes. Then let's go ahead and take a look at the Steel Path version. That's this one up here. And I know that I'm covering something here. I'll get back to that. So it takes quite a bit longer to run this just because the enemies are more tough. Could you run it in 2.5 minutes? Sure, you could. If you had a dedicated squad of experienced players. But let's be honest, players that has that powerful of weapons and setups don't really need to do this farm at all. So, but yeah, in that case, obviously double drop chance. There is drop chance on mods, and Endo is mods, not resources, by the way. So quite a bit of a better hourly rate, but not that much better, and a alright platinum per hour as well. So it's fairly decent. Now let me tell you this, I sat from 5 PM to 6 PM and I had to try for half an hour in order to find a classic, and after trying for an hour I could not get into a Steel Path Endo farm. No one was doing it, and so that time is essentially wasted. I might as well just have farmed something else instead. Deimos, I break this down in my ultimate IR farming guide. Obviously the Endo is not the focus, but you do get a decent amount, and this is accessible very early on in the game, so go ahead and abuse that if you're a new player who just started playing. But if you are, then you're probably not watching this. So All right. So let me move myself. Oh, okay, I guess I wasn't covering it anymore. So we have the railjack here. Now the railjack is actually insane. Like seriously, you do need. I know that a lot of you can't stomach railjack, and that's fine. If you can't stomach it, then don't do it. But it doesn't change the fact that it is the most efficient method. A very experienced squad can complete the entire mission in a minute and a half in and out, and then the rest of the 2 minutes here, which is the last 30 seconds, is just loading in and out of the missions. Now, how do we get this absurdly high number of Endo here? Well, first up, the 750 comes from the parts, the turrets and the reactors and so on, that drop in the what's called the skirmish in the Veil. Don't do that. So also, the other half of it was this YE22. So turns out it turns out my face was in the way. So I'm back. So let's really quickly cover what this is. So these are the drop chances on the mission rewards in the Veil. So this is just normally from the Veil. So 30% chance for 600 and 10% chance for 10, and then 6% chance to get a damaged part, which you can salvage instantaneously and without any cost for 250, which means that it is basically 250. Now, while doing Void Storms, which is basically the relic missions in railjack, then you will have an additional 12.5. This is rounded up, but it's actually calculating it as 12.5, as you can see here. Chance of getting 1200 Endo as well, and the average of this comes out to 430, which is what is considered up here. Okay, on with the rest of the video. Okay, so if you can find an experienced squad and you have a proper setup and you can do it at this time, the reward is insane. Also, let me remind you that each run you do gives you 100,000 credits, which comes out to about 3 million in an hour. And also this is it's a void relic, so you will also be getting prime parts. If you run it perfectly, you will get 30, but let's be real, you're probably more likely gonna be able to run 29 or 28 depending on your skill level, and this actually comes out to a pretty good plat per hour. Now finally, I want to talk about this part over here with the classic classic Endo farm, because there's some people who's like, oh, like make, I don't know. I think I've actually seen something as ridiculous as 3,000 in 2 minutes, or at least 2,500, and I'll dedicate an entire video to debunking this. But I mean, that's incredible. That would be the best farm in the game, but the reality is that you're not gonna get this much. Basically what these people do is that they run it for an hour or 2 hours, and then they take their best runs and stitch it together so that it looks like they're getting these insane results. And they do this just so that they can put this 250 Endo per a minute or whatever, exclamation point, red circles, all of that. It's not true. And if you don't believe me, you can just go ahead and run this for yourself, and I think you'll find that my results are quite a bit more accurate than these insane numbers that people are posting in their thumbnails. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.